In a world rife with conflict and competition, understanding human nature becomes more than just a tool for communication. It transforms into a weapon. Some use this weapon for good, while others delve into the darker realms of psychology, mastering the art of manipulation. They read people's hidden intentions and steer them toward outcomes that serve their own interests, all without the target ever realizing it. This script explores how one can decode hidden signals, expose vulnerabilities, and use psychological tactics to influence decisions and emotions in a brutally realistic world. Part 1. Reading Souls. When emotions become the gateway to control. 1. Body language, the hidden signals behind the masks. Concept. Every gesture and glance carries a message. Even when someone tries to hide their true feelings, subtle signs like trembling hands, avoidance of eye contact, or tense posture betray their inner state. Dark psychology. Insight. Skilled manipulators observe these microsignals to pinpoint weaknesses such as fear, anxiety, or deception. Technique. Compare what is being said with what the body language shows. If someone claims, "I'm fine," yet their hands are clenched or they avoid eye contact, it's a clear indicator of dishonesty. Illustrative story. In a dim interrogation room, a detective observed a suspect named Kevin. Although Kevin asserted his innocence, his nervous finger tapping and evasive eye contact revealed otherwise. By reading these signals, the detective directed his questioning to expose the truth, ultimately leading Kevin to confess. 2. Micro-expressions. Reading the unconscious. Concept. The face is the most honest mirror of our emotions. Even fleeting expressions known as micro-expressions can reveal feelings of anger, disgust, or fear before they're masked. Dark psychology. Insight. Manipulators use these split-second expressions to judge a person's authenticity and identify exploitable weaknesses. Technique. Pay close attention to the corners of the mouth, forehead, and eyes. A forced smile may hide a flash of disdain or discomfort. Illustrative story. During a high-stakes business meeting, a manager noticed that an employee, Emily, smiled throughout her presentation. However, when a controversial idea was mentioned, a brief look of disgust crossed her face. Later, the manager pressed for her honest opinion, and Emily admitted she strongly opposed the idea but was too afraid of confrontation to speak up. 3. The voice as a revealing tool between words and emotions. Concept. Words can be deceptive, but variations in tone, pace, and vocal tremors often disclose hidden emotions. Dark psychology. Insight. Manipulators listen for these auditory cues to uncover underlying stress or concealed pain, which they then exploit to steer conversations. Technique. Note any sudden changes in vocal tone or speed. A rapid pace might indicate anxiety, while a lowered tone could signal submission or fear. Illustrative story. During a phone call between former lovers, a man, Jack, tried to sound indifferent, saying, "I'm fine without you." However, his ex-partner, Lisa, detected a slight quiver in his voice. That quiver betrayed his true state. He was heartbroken, his pain masked by hollow words. Part 2. The Art of Influence. How to convince others without them realizing one. Emotional manipulation, using others' feelings as a weapon. Concept. Exploiting emotional vulnerabilities such as guilt, fear, or the need for love can compel a person to act in ways they wouldn't otherwise. Dark psychology. Insight. Manipulators turn genuine emotions into tools for control. By invoking a sense of obligation, "If you really care about me," they push their targets into compliance. Technique. Trigger feelings of guilt or duty with carefully chosen phrases that make the victim feel indispensable. Illustrative story. A loyal friend, Ashley, was repeatedly told by her confidant, Sarah, "You're the only one I can trust right now." Over time, Ashley found herself trapped in a cycle of favors and sacrifices, only to later realize that she had been ensnared in a systematic web of emotional manipulation. 2. The mirror technique. Creating the illusion of similarity and trust. Concept. Mimicking a person's body language, tone, and even phrasing creates a false sense of camaraderie and trust. Dark psychology. Insight. This tactic builds a facade of connection, distracting the target from the manipulator's true intentions. Technique. Subtly mirror the other person's gestures. If they place their hand on the table or smile, do the same, to engender a feeling of natural rapport. Illustrative story. In a bustling cafe, a businessman named Alex met with a potential client, Michael. Throughout their conversation, Alex carefully mimicked Michael's gestures and tone. The client, feeling an inexplicable sense of familiarity and comfort, ultimately became more open to sealing a lucrative deal. 3. The scarcity principle, crafting the illusion of a rare opportunity. Concept. People are hardwired to desire what appears scarce. When they sense that a chance might slip away, they're compelled to act, often irrationally. Dark psychology. Insight. Exploiting the fear of missing out can pressure individuals into hasty decisions, bypassing rational thought. Technique. Use phrases like limited time offer or one-of-a-kind opportunity to spur immediate action. Illustrative story. At an auction, an announcer declared, "This opportunity won't come again." As a result, the crowd began bidding frenziedly on a painting, driving the price to absurd levels, purely fueled by the panic of potentially missing out. 4. Calculated flattery, the charm of well-placed praise. Concept. Genuine compliments build trust, but when used manipulatively, flattery becomes a tool to lower defenses and foster dependency. Dark psychology. Insight. By appealing to a person's need for approval, the manipulator encourages them to live up to an ideal image, even if it isn't true to who they are. Technique. Offer specific, targeted compliments, especially about traits that the individual feels insecure about, so they feel compelled to confirm the praise. Illustrative story. During a job interview, an HR manager told a notably shy candidate, Ethan, "I see in you a strong leadership spirit." Though Ethan doubted his own capabilities, the compliment spurred him to adopt a more assertive demeanor, ultimately aligning his behavior with the manager's expectations. Part 3. Advanced manipulation. Playing with minds 1. Psychological projection, shifting the guilt onto others. Concept. Projection occurs when someone attributes their own negative traits or actions onto another person, thereby avoiding personal accountability. Dark psychology. Insight. This tactic is used to invert blame, making the victim feel responsible for issues they didn't cause. Technique. Twist events so that the target is left questioning their own behavior and motives. Illustrative story. In a toxic relationship, an abuser, Brian, would cheat yet constantly accuse his partner of mistrust, saying, "Your problem is that you never trust anyone." This relentless shifting of blame left his partner, Jessica, feeling guilty and gradually justifying his abusive behavior. 2. Gaslighting. Making someone doubt their reality. Concept. Gaslighting is a sinister technique where the manipulator causes the victim to question their memory, perception, or sanity. Dark psychology. Insight. Over time, constant denial and distortion of facts erode the victim's confidence in their own mind. Technique. Regularly dismiss or alter details of past events. "I already told you that yesterday. Have you forgotten?" Until the victim can no longer trust their own recollection. Illustrative story. Lisa began noticing that her husband, Tom, was often late. When she confronted him, he responded, "I told you about this yesterday. Have you forgotten already?" Gradually, Lisa's confidence in her own memory eroded, leaving her disoriented and unsure of what was real. 3. The foot in the door technique. A small request leading to complete control. Concept. The manipulator starts with a minor request that seems harmless, and once the target complies, the demands gradually escalate. Dark psychology. Insight. This strategy leverages the target's initial willingness to agree to larger, more significant requests over time. Technique. Begin with a simple favor, then incrementally build on that compliance until the target is fully dependent. Illustrative story. At work, a colleague named Mark asked Karen for a small favor, a minor task here and there. Over time, these requests grew steadily until Mark was handling nearly all of Karen's responsibilities, leaving her unaware of the gradual takeover. Conclusion. Dark psychology unveils the harsh truth behind human relationships, how our hidden vulnerabilities can be read, exploited, and manipulated for personal gain. In a world that shows little mercy, even those closest to us may use psychological tactics to control and dominate. Staying vigilant and aware is your first line of defense against these covert traps. Choose your words and actions carefully, for every act of manipulation carries with it a trace of underlying pain, and may very well be just another cold reflection of a reality that does not forgive.